Thank you all for coming. We are the Radiators, and our project was called Radiate. I'm Chase Pierce, this is Eric Bolden, Stephen Atkins, Alexis Poindexter, Brandon Cornett, and Joy DeSalle. We're going to tell you about our project called Radiate. The technologies we used to create Radiate were, our basic IDE was Visual Studio 2010 for all of our programming of all this, C# and stuff. Brandon and Joey used ASP.NET MVC3 to do their web portal parts. Alexis and Eric used Expression Blend 4 to do all the fancy UI stuff you're going to be seeing. And we used Microsoft SQL Server 2008 to host all our stuff in the beginning, even though the server died.
Alright, so I'll start off. What me and Chase, our job to do was work on the logic on the game, on the desktop app. So basically, we handled all the back-end functions as far as the models for each individual entity, how they're being handled, how the information was handled, as well as the services that returned it and distributed it back to each program. So we handle basically communication between the apps.
Okay, my name is Brandon Cornett. I worked on the web portal with Joey. Worked on development of quizzes so you can take them and create them and stuff like that. Class discussions, teachers can make announcements, send emails, and I also did both Android and iOS applications.
I'm Joseph DeSalle, and I also worked on the web portal with Brandon, and I did users, groups, periods, and also worked on making note cards and note decks.
Merrick, I worked on database, desktop log. I did a little bit of everything, really. I was mainly supposed to be doing back-end functionality on the desktop, and then our client, Ms. Robin, had requested an additional requirement, so I kind of backed off at that point and stayed on the time clock.
I'm Alexis. I did most of the work on the desktop portion, the GUI, a lot of the structure, the architecture of it, so I did some of the stuff behind the scenes as well. And me and Eric worked jointly at the beginning. He did a ribbon tool that's included in the part that you're about to see. That's mainly my contribution.
So the purpose of our project was, Ms. Robin wanted a program that she could show her students who could use to learn how to use the radiation therapy machines that they need to use in the field. Most of the systems have been automated, so students don't have to work with it anymore. As soon as they start, and the patient comes in, the computer's going to give you all the data, and they're just going to go. The students weren't really sure how to check to see if the data was correct, and if you don't give someone, if the specifications aren't exactly correct, you're going to give someone a incorrect dose of radiation that could possibly turn out to be fatal. So what she wanted us to do was to simulate the machine that most of their students will be using, so that they know how to check to see if everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. So that was one of the main things we did. She also wanted to be able to create little quizzes to test her students on stuff like, if there's a manual they should be reading, did they read the manual? Let's make a quiz or a test, much like Blackboard or any other collegiate website that you can make tests on. So we were able to implement that so that they could create and make tests. Joey decided that it'd be a good idea to make like a little flashcard machine that students could then go through, make flashcards for their quizzes so they could study beforehand. And then Brandon thought it'd be a great idea to give everything mobile access through the iPhone and Android stores. So let's go to Rob.
So I'll just kind of walk you through this process. Cap goes through it. Controls down. So basically, this is somewhat similar to what Cap just told you about things being pretty much automated at this point. Essentially what we did with this panel and this treatment plan is we give them the treatment plan and they have to input everything in manually. So the idea is to prevent having this process become too automated to where it's just so mundane, you're not really paying attention to what you're doing, and you're kind of missing the nuances. So what we did here is have them fill out each thing individually and give them feedback on the correctness of their choices. And this is similar to something that would provide radiation. So you see, when he has errors, we have lights that flash at the top that indicate where the problem is so that you can correct them.
That's everything actually. Should not be a radiation therapist.
So the lights come in handy in situations like this.
So you said this app's cat proof.
Okay, time's up.
Mine
The guy is dead.
Yeah, so that's that. That's the process. And yeah, I'm not sure how this comes across right now, but I'm sure if you were X-ray technicians, you'd find this fairly interesting. That's that. That's the treatment plan game.
The patient survived.
I don't think so.
All right, so now we're just gonna jump into the portal. I mean, I can wing it. I'll wing it. You can do it? Sure. Sort of.
So we're going to start off. This website was supposed to be where the people can do the games on the desktop. Then they have a place where they can go and view their quizzes. They can take quizzes, and they can view their game grades, quiz grades, and stuff like that. So we have 3 different roles. There's an admin, there's an instructor, and there's a student. So at first I'm going to log in as the admin. I'm going to do that. The admin is presented with a set of users, and they can change groups and periods.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, you can add a new user. You can specify whether they're an instructor, whether they're an active user, all basic field information. Yep, that's pretty much it. Just creating a user, and yeah.
There is validation.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll yell at you if you turn.
Now, don't make mistakes.
Yeah, and you can add groups or I guess periods, sections, classes, and you can add users to them.
Yeah.
We're gonna do top radiation.
While you're programming.
So the idea behind the periods, periods would be like your fall 2011, spring 2012. Groups will be within the different periods, so you'll have your different sections. You'll have radiation 101, radiation 102, and then your users will be assigned to the groups. So now we're going to log in as the instructor. As an instructor, you'll notice at the top right-hand corner you have the current group. I believe this instructor is only part of one group, but if they would have multiple groups, they would show up right there. And then the interface, like these announcements right here, would show the other groups, or whichever group is selected at the time. So right here we can make announcements. So say I want to make a new announcement. Press new. So I made the announcement, says when it's announced, who's supposed to go out. You can edit them, and it'll update the announce time. So moving right along. I did just get an email. It does send an email to every student that's in the group. So you're always informed of what's going on. So we can go ahead and go to third tab, quizzes. Available quizzes. Okay, so right here we can see that we have one quiz available right now. It's worth 50 points, and I'm allowing 5 attempts per student. So let's go ahead and push that in. This is the same form for adding more editing quizzes. You can click on availability date. And you have date and time right there. Now if I were to set the availability date past today, or so like an hour from now, I didn't want it to be available until an hour from now, it would not be in this available list, it would be in the future quizzes list, and the students would not be able to see those until that time, so they can set up time quizzes. And after the unavailable date, they'll move to the past quizzes and no one can attempt them anymore. So we'll go ahead and click on the page button, edit for the quiz. So if you click on this, you actually go into the quiz and see the quiz questions. So right here are all the questions that we have within the quiz right now. You can order them. So if you'd like one on top, you can move it up there. If you click on it, like you see right there, it'll show you the correct choice. You can edit it. Actually, let's make a new one. Let's just add another question to this quiz. This is HTML, so I can, after I do that, I can center it. I can upload images, so you can add images via URL, or you can actually upload them via image stack. So choose. I'll upload it and it'll show up in the box. And you can do the same thing for each of the choices. So you assign the points, you can go down a little bit, and you have choices. And you can keep adding as many as you want, and then you're going to click the little bubbles to decide which one is the correct answer. So it added, it'll pop up and let you add another question. Let's go ahead and move on. So let's go ahead to the fifth tab, fourth tab, fifth tab, sorry. Yes. Send email. So from here, either instructors or students can send emails to everybody, the instructor, or all the students within the session. It's pretty basic. You can send an email right there. You click on class discussions. If you've messed with Blackboard, which I'm sure most of you have, this is pretty much similar to the discussion board. Instructors can add discussions, and then students or instructors can comment on the discussions. So you see right here, it'll just show up. You can do a search up in the right-hand corner. So just type
like this.
So we see right here that Chase is My name is Tresca, and I'm 13 years old. Spoke to the search bar at the top. And just type in Chase. And it'll filter. It's using the data table jQuery plugin. If we click on one of these, anyway, new details, change your password, and I'm going to let Joey talk about the cards.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, just for study purposes, the student can go in, or actually the instructor or student can go in, and they can create decks of note cards. And essentially, if the instructor creates the deck, and any student enrolled in that instructor's section in which the instructor created that deck will have visibility of the deck, but they won't be able to edit it. So basically, they can have like instructor created decks that, I mean, maybe the instructor wants them to freshen up on their lymphatic system. But basically, you know, so you can go to a little stack icon and you can edit the cards in the deck. And yeah, just click potential. Yeah, so you know, you edit the front, edit the back. You can add images. You can add anything you need to add in there, and then after you, I mean, you can sort the cards in the deck. And then if you go back to the deck, you can actually view it in kind of like a slideshow mode. Okay, yeah, so you can go through and flip it over, click the little arrows on the side, go through each one. It's just a little handy study tool.
Okay, so real quick, we're going to log in as a student now, just to show you they can take the quizzes and view their grades. So he was in the third group. If I go back to the first group. You notice they can't edit the quizzes, they can just take them. And then it'll pull it up, it'll allow them to attempt it.
Fail. Somebody unplug their own thing.
So it'll then bring you to your grade book where you can see your past attempts. So right now I've attempted it twice. I got 20% to 16.67%. This is the same screen pretty much that the instructor would see, except that they would see all of the students grouped right there that are in the section. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to the other laptop and show you the mobile side real quick. Let me see if I can get it to duplicate real quick. Okay, so first, the iPhone, the iOS app, and both the Android and the iOS app are on the Android market and the App Store respectively. We got those approved last week. So I can go ahead and I'll show you the iPhone first. They're pretty much mirror images of each other. I'll just show you that they both work real quick then. They fully support rotation, so you can do it in any orientation you like. So when I first open it up, you'll see different announcements. Here's the announcement we just made at the top. You can go to Learning. I can do a new quiz attempt from here. It'll show me my list of quizzes. I can pick it. And again, it pretty much looks the same. And you just slide from question to question. I'm not going to finish though. So let's go back. View grades. So again, I can pick the quiz. These are the 2 attempts I just did. I can click on it, and it'll show me the attempt or the choice that I picked. So since there's multiple attempts, you don't always want to show them what the correct answer was. And there is an option to not allow students to see what they've chosen. So it'll just tell you the grades and that's it. No cards again. You can choose a deck and you can actually flip through them on here. Go to the next one. Send email, class discussions, you can change your group. And it is the same on Android.
So we're out of time, so that's Radiate.